dive into the Motown scene where soulful vibes and K.R. vocals ruled the airwaves. These artists weren't just making hits, they were living their best lives, and their stories are filled with as much aliveness, as much soul as their songs. Let's unpack the lives of some underrated legends who shaped the soundtrack of the 60s and 70s. Get ready for some juicy tales from the era when music was everything. The Velvelettes back in '61, two college girls, Bertha Barbie McNeil and Mildred Gill Arbor, both attending Western Michigan University, decided to start a girl group. They roped in Mildred's little sis Carolyn, aka Cal or Calden, who was literally just a freshman in high school, along with her BFF Betty Kelly, who was a junior. Bertha didn't want to be left out and brought in her cousin, Norma Barbie, who was a freshman at Flint Junior College. They decided Cal would be the lead because, duh, she had that star power. So here's where it gets juicy. A guy named Robert Bullock, who just so happened to be Berry Gordy's nephew, yes, that Berry Gordy of Motown fame, told them to audition for the label. They signed with Motown in late '62, and by January '63, they were already recording their first tracks at the iconic Hitsville, USA studio. Fun fact, a young Stevie Wonder played harmonica on their single There He Goes, and that's the reason why. How cool is that? While waiting for their big break, the Velvelettes were basically the studio's secret weapon. They recorded tracks that sometimes got re-recorded by bigger names like Martha and the Vandellas and the Supremes. But in spring '64, they finally hit the charts with Needle in a Haystack, produced by the up-and-coming Norman Whitfield. It landed them at number 45 on the Billboard Hot 100. Not too shabby, right? Their follow-up, He Was Really Saying Something, was also produced by Whitfield and kept the good vibes going. They even toured as a support act for other Motown stars. But drama hit in September '64 when Betty Kelly left to join Martha and the Vandellas, turning the group into a quartet. And the rest, as they say, is history. The Monitors. It all started with Otis Williams and Melvin Franklin's school pals, Richard Street and Warren Harris. Richard even joined Otis and Melvin in a group called The Distance, but he bailed before they evolved into the iconic Temptations. Street tried to make waves with Thelma Records, dropping a single called Answer Me, produced by Norman Whitfield, the guy behind so many Motown hits. It didn't blow up, but hey, everyone's got to start somewhere. Richard then teamed up with Warren Harris, and with Sandra and John Fagan, they decided to form a new group. Their first try as the Majestics didn't quite take off because there was another Majestics out there already, so they had a quick name switcheroo to the Monitors. Their first hit, Say You, climbed to 36 on the R&B charts in '65. Not bad for a group with a last-minute name change, right? Then came their third release, Greetings, This Is Uncle Sam, which touched hearts and told the story of young men drafted to Vietnam. It made it to number 100 on the pop charts in '66, resonating with the struggles of the time. They followed up with a few more singles and even switched to Motown's soul label, dropping Step by Step, Hand in Hand in '68. But sadly, that was their Motown finale. They did release an album, Greetings, We're the Monitors, that same year. But here's the kicker. Despite their awesome music, the Monitors didn't hit it big. So they had to hustle within Motown. Richard Street worked in quality control and later became a stand-in for the Temptations' Paul Williams during his health struggles. When Paul had to leave the Temptations in '71, Richard stepped up, and that was pretty much the end of the Monitors as we knew them.
Oh, Jamie. Talking about Jamie.
Eddie Holland. Eddie kicked off his career as a singer, dropping some early hits like Jamie, but he quickly realized the stage wasn't his vibe. Yeah, stage fright is a thing even for legends. So he moved behind the scenes, and boy, are we glad he did. Eddie teamed up with his bro, Brian Holland, and Lamont Dozier to form the ultimate songwriting and production team, Holland, Dozier, Holland. If you're into Motown, you've definitely jammed to their tunes. They crafted the magic behind hits for legends like Martha and the Vandellas, the Supremes, the Four Tops, and the Isley Brothers. We're talking 143 hits on the US charts and 80 in the UK. Eddie wasn't just any songwriter, he was the lyrical genius of the team. He also collabed with producer Norman Whitfield, cooking up lyrics for songs like Too Many Fish in the Sea and Beauty is Only Skin Deep for the Marvelettes and the Temptations. Fast forward a bit, and Eddie's talents even found their way to Broadway. Yep, he composed songs for the musical adaptation of The First Wives Club. Talk about versatility. Life isn't always smooth sailing, even for a Motown legend. Eddie has had his fair share of courtroom drama over the years. He's been tangled in civil cases about taxes, loans, and music rights in 85, 88, 96, 17, and 20. Guess fame and fortune come with their own set of headaches.
Every little hurt times.
Brenda Holloway. Brenda's journey to Motown fame started when she signed with their Tamla division. She had a choice: head to Detroit to record at the legendary Hitsville studio or stay in sunny LA. Brenda chose LA, where she worked with producers Hal Davis and Mark Gordon. Her breakout track, Every Little Bit Hurts, almost didn't happen because she was not feeling it during the recording. But after a few takes and a lot of emotions, they nailed it. The song dropped in April '64, just before her 18th birthday, and hit number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100. Not too shabby for a teenager. That same year, Brenda joined Dick Clark's Caravan of Stars tour, with a special condition. Motown wanted the Supremes, who were just starting to blow up with Where Did Our Love Go?, to tag along. Brenda's debut album, also named Every Little Bit Hurts, came out with tracks like I'll Always Love You, which hit number 60 on the charts. When Motown's first solo queen, Mary Wells, left, the label pegged Brenda as her successor. They had her record songs originally meant for Wells, including her next big hit, When I'm Gone, penned by the legendary Smokey Robinson. This one took her to number 25 on the Hot 100 and number 13 on the R&B chart in '65. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Brenda's song Operator didn't make much noise, and she faced some drama at Motown. She wasn't into the whole G-ing school scene and got heat from bigwigs like Berry Gordy and Smokey for being too much like Tina Turner. Some folks at Motown labeled her as trouble, and with the spotlight shifting to bigger acts like the Supremes, Brenda felt sidelined. Her planned second album, Hurtin' and Cryin', was shelved. But hey, she did score a gig opening for the Beatles on their US tour in '65, even performing at their iconic Shea Stadium concert. In 1967, Brenda dropped Just Look What You've Done, her best chart hit in 2 years, and then came You've Made Me So Very Happy, co-written with her sister Patrice. The song hit number 39 on the pop charts and number 40 on the R&B charts. Brenda's musical genius was undeniable. But by '68, after releasing her second album, The Artistry of Brenda Holloway, she'd had enough. Midway through a recording session with Smokey Robinson, she packed up and returned to LA. Motown claimed she left to sing for God. But the real story was her frustration with the label and her struggle to reconcile the Motown lifestyle with her personal beliefs.
Every voice and sing.
Kim Weston. Back in 1961, Kim Weston signed with Motown and quickly turned heads with her catchy tune, Love Me All the Way. This jam was supposed to be the B-side to It Should Have Been Me, but DJs flipped the script, making Love Me All the Way the star. It hit number 24 on the R&B charts and number 88 on the pop charts. Talk about a lucky break. But Kim didn't stop there. She dropped some serious hits like Take Me in Your Arms, Rock Me a Little While, reaching number 4 on the R&B charts and number 50 on the pop charts. This banger was so good, even the Isley Brothers, Blood, Sweat and Tears, Jermaine Jackson, the Doobie Brothers, and Phil Collins had to cover it. And let's not forget Helpless, another gem that cracked the charts after the Four Tops gave it a spin first. Her ultimate claim to Motown fame? Duetting with Marvin Gaye on the iconic It Takes Two in 1966. This track was such a smash that it inspired Motown to pair Gaye with Tammy Terrell, setting the stage for even more legendary hits. But in '67, Kim decided to peace out from Motown and ended up in a royalties showdown with the label. She and her then hubby, William Mickey Stevenson, who was a big deal at Motown, packed their bags for Los Angeles and teamed up with MGM Records. Kim dropped singles like I Got What You Need and Nobody, but they didn't quite hit the airwaves like her Motown tracks. At MGM, Kim also released This Is America, featuring her soulful take on the Black national anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. The track got major love and was even part of the Watt-Stax movie soundtrack, with all the proceeds going to the United Negro College Fund. Kim kept busy with various albums and even teamed up with Johnny Nash for a duets record. But as the '70s rolled on, her singles didn't climb the charts like before. Eventually, she made a bold move to Israel, where she helped young singers find their voice and starred in the musical Sound and the Kidnapped African. Talk about a global impact.